Hello everyone, welcome back to Jersey Yogalicious. My name is Kat and I am a sport yoga and certified instructor. And this fall we have started a series on the awakening of the Buddhist heart, but I have actually dubbed it the awakening of the heart because you don't have to be Buddhist to join us. We're just studying, following what Buddha might have said on certain topics and what other religions also would have said. And what does it all mean? So as a seeker, as a yogi, I am a seeker of enlightenment. So as a seeker, I want to know, what does it mean? Before we get started, I just want to share an update with you. I know I had told you about one of my little pen pal girls in the Ukraine, Alana, and Alana is back at the orphanage. She is doing much better, so thank you for your well wishes and thoughts and prayers. And I heard from her twin sister, Marina, who is actually younger than her. So they're not true twins, but they look like twins. So anyhow, they're about a year apart. And Marina wrote to me, the thing with our pen pal program is the children, they have to write and respond to each letter. Failure to not respond to your pen pal after the second letter has been received by your pen pal, meaning like maybe from, the US or Canada or whatever country, they send you a letter. If the child doesn't respond on the second letter, they're automatically this year excluded from the pen pal program because they're trying to establish a set of rules and order and conduct that the children don't just write during holidays to ask for St. Nicholas presents, things of that nature. So, Marina, who I originally thought her name was Mariana, but we found out it's Marina, which is the Russian translation, obviously. Marina wrote to me after my third letter to her. She was already being, kicked off the program for not responding, and meanwhile, she responded. So I was so excited to get her translated letter. And the one thing I wanted to share with you also from her letter is that I had asked her some basic questions, what interests her, what her favorite color is, does she like animals, just to get to know her. And one thing she said to me is that I asked her, what did she want to be, in school, what is she studying, what does she want to be when she gets older? She's, in 7th grade, so just middle school kind of questions. And she said that she does very well in school and she likes the Russian and the Ukraine language class the best. So maybe she'll be a linguist. There's great hope for that for her. But what she said to me is that she enjoyed hearing about my life and that I lived well. She thought I lived well and that she lived well too. Now, I want to preface that with saying that she had just in the paragraph before told me that the water hasn't been turned off, but the electricity recently has been turned on and off. So she's in the northeastern Ukraine. It's very cold already. So if you can just imagine. So she tells me, that her water is running, her electricity's been on and off, but that she's doing very well, and her sister's doing very well, and that she really likes me, and that I have a good life and that she wants to have a good life like me. So she says, you live well, and she says, I live well. So I was just enlightened by this little girl because I thought, you're giving more to me, enriching my life more than I could ever possibly imagine, because your circumstances are not the greatest. And you have seen it every day as a blessing because your circumstances in the orphanage are probably a little bit better than they were before the orphanage. So you have the insight to see that your life is better now. And here I am with running water and electricity that isn't shut off and is very warm where I live. And my heart just goes out to this little girl, and I can't even express to you how much being part of this outreach project means to me. The children, there's children in the United States, there's children all over the world that are homeless, that are hungry, that need a foster friend, a parent, someone to adopt them, a pen pal, whatever you can give. And I know there's something you can give or do. If you feel the way I do, if you're inspired by this, you definitely should look into some of these programs out there to try to help a little person, or a teenager, or even the children that are outsourcing now to college. They need clothes, books, advice. They need mentors. So if you have, a little time to spare, and if you don't have a lot of time, if you're busy like me, the Pen Pal program may work for you. But I just wanted to share that with you because we talk about awakening the heart and opening the heart, and the things in our life that are brought to us daily, the regular things, like the tragedy this weekend of Alfaro ship going directly into the eye of a Category 4 hurricane from Jacksonville on its way over to Puerto Rico. And now I just see CNN found pieces of from miles and miles of debris. So one can only imagine, the tragedy and what the family's feeling. Just the things that happen on a daily basis in our world impact our lives, and they should. If they're not, something's wrong. They need to be awakening your heart. You all have emotion and feeling, and we say we're busy and whatever. We can all give back. So that's just my point on that. If you really want to awaken your heart, get out of your comfort zone. Do something different, and challenge yourself to continue to do something different. So we're going to make this short tonight. This is chapter 4, Developing Authentic Presence. When you meet a person who has inner authentic presence, you find he has an overwhelming genuineness, which might be somewhat frightening because it's so true, honest, and real. You experience a sense of command radiating from that person, of inner authentic presence. This is not just charisma. The person with inner authentic presence has worked on himself or herself and made it through a proper journey. He or she has earned authentic presence by letting go and by giving up personal comfort and fixed mind. And that's exactly what I'm speaking about right now. So you hear someone say to you, just be yourself. I've even said that to my son, just be yourself. How often have we heard these simple words of wisdom? How often have we repeated them? I recently heard a mother counseling her child who was about to go for a pre-interview at college. And she said, Bettina, just be yourself. In Shakespeare's Hamlet, the wise elder advises his son, this above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night and the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. So the hard truth is we're growing up, and we probably didn't hear just be yourself unless someone told us that, and a lot of our parents didn't. They said, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do what's expected of you, and these negative, although they may seem positive, they're negative messages because you're not being authentic if you can't tell your child or your loved one or yourself to just be yourself. A lot of us get caught up in our roles, whether it's professionally or at home, and we forget who we really are, who we are to ourselves. Today's my son's birthday. He turned 20. He's being himself. He is doing what Jacob wants to do. And if there's one thing I'm sure of, that he's being authentic to himself. It's not going to be what you want. It's not going to be what they want. It's going to be what that person wants. And that's when they're being authentic. And to me as a parent, that's a blessing. Okay, that's a blessing. Went to a funeral Friday night. A gentleman who's a father to a dear friend of mine. And his wife wrote a poem about legacy and how her husband had lived a legacy. He lived his way. He lived authentically. Our spiritual quest is a quest for truth. And we have to search from the starting point, which is ourselves. We have to get right with ourselves. We have to get right with the people around us. And we have to find our spiritual path. And that's how we, find what is authentic and what is true. And that makes us grounded. And that makes us realists. whether we're a glass full or half full kind of guy, doesn't matter, or empty glass, it doesn't matter, because if you find your authentic self, then you become grounded, you become realistic on that path. And that's where you want to head. So we're going to stop there for tonight. I just want you to ponder. I gave you a lot to chew on. I just want you to ponder on that question. Am I authentic with myself? Am I real with myself? Do I allow my children to be real? Or do I kind of focus them and motivate them and push them? Because, I think it's great for them if they get a scholarship. Or I went to college there, so they got to go to college there. Or, our whole family's doctors, so they've got to be a doctor. Or she's going to be this, he's going to be that. Or I'm going to go to school and I'm going to do this and I'm going to be that. Because. Is it because you want to do it? Or is it because it's something that was pressed upon you? What are you doing in your life right now? Are you working a job that you're happy in? Are you getting up each day and are you working for that job, or are you working for the greater good? If you say today, thank you, for my life today and my breath today, and may everybody have a good, safe day, and I'm going to do good things because I took in a fresh breath of air when I opened my eyes this morning. So if I go into life with gratitude and acknowledge the gratitude, then I'm being authentic to the universe. And then when I say, am I going to a job that I despise? Well, then I need to think about why. Do I despise the job, or is there something else going on in my life? And whatever it leads to be, this will help you to find if it's authentic to you. And if it's not, I encourage you, you have to find a way to move out of that and to move into something different.